All right, everybody, welcome back to. Wait, that's my other intro. I had the wrong intro. But what? I can't remember how it is. It's been a month since Danger and I have recorded. Welcome back, gamers and gamettes, dudes and dudettes, lads and lassies. That's what it is. I forgot my own intro. That's sad. But Danger's not here. Danger and I are playing a game. Danger, I hope you're listening right now. You have an issue with your game, dude. I'm joined today by my dad. Say hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
But, Dad, let me tell you what's going on with Danger.
Okay.
He has a problem of picking games. We're playing a DragonBall Z game right now that he's been wanting to play for like a year now. He's talked about, I want to play it. I can't wait to play it. It'll be so great to play it. And we're now on week 4 waiting. I'm playing it. I've given up beating it at this point because it's a story. I know it's based on the anime Dragon Ball Z. And I know that story pretty well. It's just fighting here and there till the next scene happens. So it's very much repetitive.
Okay.
I've given up on playing it. I know what my overall review is going to be for it. And he has 2, and unfortunately that's making him drag it out even more.
Yeah, it's hard to get into a game if you know where the story's going to be. Yeah. If you ain't having fun playing the game. Like,
it was fun at first, because, like, the little, like, first 2 hours everything was unique. Then he and I were chatting about it. We think that what they did was they would put on the, basically, they put all their budget into a point. They realized, oh, it'll be too expensive to make, or the deadline stuff, and so everything just got really repetitive. Which sucks, because it was cool at first. Like, first 2 hours, 2 bosses were fun and unique. Then it just literally got to be everything the exact same. It's made for a very boring 32 hours. And I'm still not done yet. But it's been a minute since you've been on here, Dad, so how's life?
It goes on and on and on.
Yeah. You done any fun games since the last time you were on?
Done some games. Fun, relative, I guess.
Because, let's see, what I know you've played is, you've mostly been PS4, then you had the Xbox 360 for like the last, I don't know if you played yesterday, I didn't hear anything.
No, I didn't play.
But right now I know you've played The Last of Us Part 2.
Yep.
Final Fantasy 15 for like maybe 15, 20 hours at most.
Something like that.
And you've been playing The Walking Dead by Telltale.
Yes.
A personal favorite game of mine.
Okay.
I love those kind of games. Telltale games are really fun. I love the choice based in games, making everything you have.
The choice base is fun. It's just the action is lacking.
I mean, it can't be 100% boom go all the time.
No, but 25% would be better than what it is now.
I'd say it matches the tone. Like, to take the TV show Walking Dead, I mean, all that, those, like, get to a point where, you know, they felt safe, so not a lot of action was going on, just a lot of dialogue. Maybe a zombie kill here, zombie kill there.
It's fair reference.
It's been too long since I've seen the first season, which is, you know, we'll equate this to, like, the first season or so. Because I do remember they did a lot, like, the first episode had, maybe 2 episodes. I think it was the end of episode 1 when Rick got trapped in the tank. And it was called by Glenn, hey, you're stupid. Here's how you get out of the tank.
Was that 1 or was that 2? Didn't he spend all of 1? That was the prior to what happened to him, where he was in the hospital, and then he was woke up and figuring out that the world was crazy, and he was wandering around town, and he finally went to the police station, grabbed all the guns, and he left.
Yeah,
but I don't think he made it anywhere.
No, I thought the whole first episode was him. He met Morgan, and then at the end of it was whenever he made it to the tank.
I'm pretty sure that was 2 episodes, all mixed. It's all.
I don't know. We'll have to.
We met more of Morgan than that for him to have been such a character of people looking forward to him when he finally came back in season 6, whatever it was, 5 or 6,
whatever it was. Maybe it was episode 2 and then episode 3 was when it was, but I thought it wasn't that. I don't know. We'll have to rewatch it, or I have to rewatch it and say.
Well, I'm sure your mother will put it on, so I'll see it at some point.
I can go hook up my PS4 and go into Netflix and watch it.
Yeah, I ain't going to that effort.
Oh, I found out something. Apparently, our phone plan should have Disney Plus. Could have Disney Plus to it as like a free gift part of it. Free package.
No.
And if that's the case, I'm going to talk to her mom whenever we have time to. If so, we can watch the Marvel stuff for free.
Well, you know, I saw a thing where it's a chance we can actually get new phones for nothing. There's got a free trade-in. New and existing customers.
I mean,
Free trade-in, and so long as you're spending $75 a month or something, and I think we're already spending more than that per person. So,
yeah, I want to.
I mean, it should be a free phone, one of them flip phones.
Oh no, don't get a flip phone. Not one of them, because down the road Brian had one, and the screen of them gets like, you know, it's still glass that bends, so the screen gets like crackled in the middle. At least I don't know what model it is.
I've seen a new one. I mean, and you can see the lines. It was distorted, but there was no cracks. I don't know how old it was.
Yeah, his was maybe 2 years old, and that. Granted, it took a little while, but then it kind of started to get like the
2 years. That's kind of the lifespan of a phone anymore. It's kind of obsolete at that point.
I mean, we've had these for what, 3?
Got them in March of 20.
Yeah, 3. 3 years on our S20s. I mean, I've had to replace mine twice.
I thought mine was still going strong until yesterday.
Oh, did you break the back? Oh, that's fine. Your phone still works.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know it. Who knows how long it's been? That's why I take it out of my pocket at work. I'm assuming that's where that happened, but I don't know that.
Like mine, you know, and I've noticed all the ones that have cracked Mom's phone, all of her phone cracked right here. All 3 of them.
Yeah, I got no cracks on the front, and I hadn't had a screen protector on mine in a long time.
Well, you aren't on your phone as much as she and I are.
That's true.
Like, it was a... like, now, I almost got in trouble at work, not by bosses, but by one of the other people, because I get on the work thing, and because that one time I was lifting the stuff and I was nicking my phone. And that's like my other phone, why it was so broken, because I hit it. I now sit it right here, so it doesn't go. And so one time I hit a bump and it fell off. So I was like, hey, you know, you don't need to be on your phone and your thing, they'll get onto you. It wasn't. I had it sitting right here out of the way. But as we're sitting here talking all our stuff, we talked games. I found out we were talking Final Fantasy. Danger and I were talking Final Fantasy 7. We got curious on, because, you know, part 2 is going to be a 2-disc game.
Yeah, heard.
Apparently a PS5 disc at max can hold 100 gigabytes of space.
Okay, well, I don't know what a PS4 hold or Xbox or any of those, so I can't compare it to anything.
Well, not 100, because Final Fantasy 7, what you had to have a data install disc on a separate disc to put it into it.
Right.
So that'll theoretically mean, unless it's counting, like, so that means Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth will come with 3 discs, theoretically, of data install and then 2 game discs. So that's 300 gigabytes at most for one single game. That is going to be a massive, massive game.
Yeah, my imagination runs wild when I see the potential expansion of 7.
Mm-hmm.
The way they did the first. Just the first game. The first remake.
Yeah, where it's, you know...
I mean, Midgar went from 4 hours to 30.
Yeah, about 40.
And now and we don't know how far they're going to progress in the story, but when you go to talking about 4 or 5 hours, you know, you spend just a fraction of the time in this city and in that city. I mean, you know, you go to Calm, and aside from the story, you're there 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, you stay overnight, and had there not been a conversation explaining what was going on, you'd literally been there 5 minutes. You go buy a weapon, you go buy a piece of armor, you go buy an accessory, and you're headed on down the road.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so how big is Calm, and how much do they want to expand it? And can you meet the guy that gives you the gold chocobo if you beat one of the big monsters at the end? Am I spoiling too much?
Dad, the game's almost 30 years old. It's okay to talk about.
Well, I know, and I've been playing it for 30 years, but there's people that have never played 7.
Well,
The original.
well, you know what? I'm gonna spoil it. Hopefully, our plan is after Danger beats Kakarot, we're going to do the original 7. Right now, he has the PlayStation Extra stuff, and it expires at the end of the month on the 30th. So said he'll have 12 days to beat that game.
To beat 7, the original?
Yeah. And I think he should be able to. Danger, I'm going to put hope in you that you can get this game beat within 12 days.
Oh, well, you tell me he plays games. I'm not so sure. If he doesn't like it right off the get-go.
I mean, he didn't like Silent Hill. He played it. He put hours into it. He just didn't like it, and he would fervently complain about it. Just he would complain like, "Oh my god, bro, I hate the controls. I hate the controls. It makes no sense. The world makes no sense." I don't think he ever complained about the graphics because for being a 99 game, it really didn't look bad in its cutscenes. It looked decent, like it was Final Fantasy VIII level.
Well, I mean, you know, I've grown up seeing the people were squares, so I've learned to look past that. I'm in a little bit of awe of some of the new stuff that happens, but you know, the things that you can see, or walk in, see you playing a game, and recognize the character.
Yeah,
The voice actor, because I can recognize the character because it's so accurate.
that's like.
But having the pointy-headed guy that, his head was a triangle, doesn't bother me. Never has bothered me.
Well, I mean, and it doesn't bother me. But you like you even said awe of it. You got to look at some of the things like 7 to 8. That gap was massive. Of the cinematic.
Yep.
8 to 9, 9 to what? 9.
See, I tried to play 9 a year ago,
Yeah, about.
and I didn't notice a whole lot of difference between 8 and 9.
No, there was. They had a lot more detail. And they do the cinematics a little more frequently. Plus, one fun thing they did was they would have the mobile super high definition background moving while your character's still in his little like chibi pixelated form, your character form, running around on the screen. A lot better, like how 7 did at the North Cave.
Yeah, I didn't play it enough to notice.
Yeah, this was end game. This is way end game, and they really started to. But then you look at 10 also. 10's jump was... Well, I think 10 came out in 2001, if not 2002. And Final Fantasy VIII released in 99. So that 2-3 year gap was absolutely incredible for that.
Oh, I'm sure that's right.
Like...
When it finally started taking off, it was going leaps and bounds.
Mm-hmm. Because Final Fantasy is just, they put a lot of effort into all their games. Despite some of the hate the later ones get, 13, 14's an MMO, so that one has different hate than that. But 14, 15, 16 has its own hate. But they're good games. They put a lot of effort into the games to make them look great. And it's why I think it's one of the best franchises out there, honestly.
I'd like to say yes because it's my favorite, but I haven't played enough to say and compare that yes it is, no it isn't. I mean, everything in Mass Effect looked great, and that was a series of 3 games plus one.
Now,
oh, you didn't mention that. I have started playing Andromeda.
Oh yeah, I mean you haven't played a whole lot of it.
No.
Like overall wise,
No, and I'm kind of getting the vibe of it was kind of like when I was trying to get into Mass Effect in the beginning.
Yeah. And it also probably doesn't help that that this was the start of something new. I think I told you they started something new and they never made the other games.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I thought I told you that. That was like a big thing of it was they wanted to have a whole trilogy with Andromeda. Which is why they released books instead, because they weren't able to make any more games.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was another reason too. Was, there's no real end in sight. You have to read in order to figure out what happens.
It's just the disconnect of what I liked so much about Mass Effect was completely lost in Andromeda. I mean, let's face it, I was a Shepard fan.
Everybody is. To this day, I've never heard anybody. I hear people talk about Ryder and his sister, but not in the same vein as they did Shepard. Shepard's still is going to go down as one of the probably most memorable main characters in history. Honestly, at least I think. In my whole book, he's going to be one that you say Shepard, no matter what. You could be talking about a Shepard in a field, and a Commander Shepard pops into my head. Like Cloud. You hear Cloud, you think of Cloud.
Yeah.
And Sora. There's lots of stuff with Sora. Kingdom Hearts always pops in my head. So a lot of people just didn't disconnect. I grew up with Shepard. I don't care much for Ryder in comparison.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, I'm a couple hours in, and I had a hard time with the original Mass Effect. I'd play it hour or so, maybe, and I'd get frustrated and turn it off. And then I'd play it for an hour or so, and I'd get frustrated and turn it off. And I want to say it was actually the 4th time that I finally stuck with it a little bit longer. And apparently I was quitting right before things actually started getting interesting. And then the whole game took a twist. That's when you make it to the Citadel for the first time. I had never made that. And when I did, the whole game changed. And I became so engrossed in it that I went and bought 2, I pre-ordered 3.
Is that the only...
What did I do? The Xbox 360 Live.
Yeah.
Just so I could do the online stuff.
Yeah, and the DLC.
Because I got so enamored by the game.
I heard rumors that apparently in the Legendary Edition they're going to be bringing that back. They did away with it just because they originally had it planned in the 360 just to do the Galactic Readiness stuff.
Yeah.
And then that fell flat because everybody hated it. So they released Legendary Edition, and without a need for the multiplayer, they didn't release the multiplayer.
Yeah, I didn't care much for the multiplayer. I mean, I did it because I had to, but
I remember enjoying it. I remember actually thoroughly enjoying it. Like you get playing as
if you had a team, it would be fun. But as a single person, which I was, constantly joining random teams, and I wasn't part of the headphone
No, I know.
community at the time, made things hard.
I remember one time you did it. We were playing. You hopped on like the hardest mode.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, pure curiosity. It's like, man, I wonder what's going to happen. Let's go in. Dad hops in. It's like 3, 2, 1, start. And like maybe 10 seconds later, Dad gets killed. And one of the random bystanders, oh, he went down quick.
Yeah, and I don't think it was 10 seconds. I'm going to say it was more like 3.
It
was quick.
But you just pretty much died. But I liked it. The ability to play as the other aliens was fun. Like the Vorcha, I loved playing as a Vorcha. I don't know if you remember, but he'd go the Omni tools, and I would sit there with the Bloodlust. Every time he'd just kill stuff, it'd be regaining HP. I'd go on a freaking frenzy. You played as a Batarian a lot. I remember that.
It's been too long now.
And they shut those servers down, so you can't do much with it.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. Like, it was a fun raid mode with buddies. If you had a group of buddies, it'd be really fun to play.
Yeah, I agree. Like I say, with a team, it would be a fun raid. Fun go do. And playing the easier ones when you figured it out, even with people that you couldn't talk to or didn't mess with, everybody learned the same strategy.
Yeah.
When you played it enough, you knew, go here, do this, defend this place.
I do miss those kind of days without the headphones, where you meet that one random person online, and you like really buddy up with that one person. It feels like, and then you leave that group and you never see him again.
Yeah.
There was one of them I did a lot with Naruto back whenever we did all this stuff, and I'd play it online with them. I met some on there, and I buddied up with some random people. Don't know whatever happened to them. I wonder how. I can't. It's like one was like branded snow or something, like snowy brassy snow. That's what one of them was. I can't remember the other one. I'll randomly remember it. It'd be hilarious if some person actually knows who I am. They'd be like, "Oh my god, it's Lazy Man!" Because that was our stupid Xbox name.
Yeah, it was.
Lazy Man 17. But Mass Effect was good. I'm ready for Mass Effect 4.
I'm only ready for Mass Effect if it has Shepard.
Well, right now we at least know it's the same universe because it has Liara and all them hunting for Shepard. We know that much.
Well, I mean, you and I have talked that one.
We've talked it to death.
We've talked it to death.
Never on Games and Gamers, though.
No, well, that's true. But, I mean, we've talked it to death how great it would be if that... The one where he lives. Destroy. You really want to go into that now?
Hell, why not? I figured we'd just do Final Fantasy in this one, but Mass Effect's okay, too.
Alright, well, okay. So, here it goes. I mean, in the Destroy one, where he wakes up, he's in the bowels of the ship. And the only ones that are there that would be in the bowels of the ship are the Keepers.
Right.
So everybody goes looking for him, but nobody can find him because nobody knows where to go. Technically, I think the Keepers would be disconnected from their programming.
The primary directive stuff.
But they'd have been aware, vaguely, of all the groups and peoples and things that had come and gone over the Citadel, over the millions of years, however long they were keeping it. We don't know. They never said. But they would now communicate, and they would probably have empathy for anybody that had inhabited the Citadel. That would include Shepard, to the point of taking him to the very inner bowels that wasn't even the end of 3, and healing him. But how bad was he hurt? Did it take 3 months, for him to fully heal? I mean, they've got access to all the medicine, all the food, everything you'd possibly need because it's all on the Citadel.
Yeah.
So they could just be taking it and healing him and not telling anybody. Maybe by his choice. Who knows?
Just be sitting there slowly being rebuilt. It's like Mass Effect 2 again.
Yeah. And being built kind of with the knowledge of, like I say, millions of years. It kind of in the Reaper's, not image, but ability. I mean, he could come out super powered somehow.
Yeah, you and I had talked about it.
I mean, you got biotics already, so they're semi-super powered.
You and I had talked about how they should do it was, like, Shepard starts in, he goes through all this cutscene stuff, and then they give you the ability to choose, like how in Mass Effect 3 or 2, whenever you beat the game, you then have the ability of the loyalty abilities. All the superpower that one of your other party members has. So we had discussed, Shepard goes in, you get to learn one ultimate biotic ability,
yeah,
or an ultimate technical ability, or an ultimate soldier ability.
Yeah.
And then you have to deal with, like, the final threat of it all being the Cerberus/Reaper threat.
And it could still flip back and forth, a 2-storyline game. Start off as Liara,
yeah,
or Garrus, or whatever. And you're playing, and this is the aftermath, and you know what everything happened. And you find the place where Shepard was laying. And you know that because his armor is left there.
You know what's something actually...
Parts of his armor is there. And where is Shepard? This was taken off. This did not get blown off of him. He took his helmet off. So where is he? And they go to looking. You
know something that as I've thought about it? I remember years back, not long after we had this actual first discussion, I actually sent an email out to BioWare.
Oh, yeah?
It took a lot of figuring out who to actually send it to, but I sent it to BioWare under mine. If I go look under my stuff, my email, I might be able to find it from like 8 years ago whenever I sent it. And there's more to it, where we talked about the elusive man theoretically survived. I don't know if you remember.
Did he? Well, no, I guess that depends on your choices. Well, no. If you had enough Paragon or Renegade to kill him.
Well, this is how we discussed it either way. It's, it just changes conversation. But elusive man survives because he wanted to be one with the Reapers. He wanted to control the Reapers.
Yeah.
He ended up surviving and being more or less being in the heart of all of it. We had said he kind of got power of the Reapers and like merged with the Reapers. And his Cerberus people have the ability to like kind of use some of their parts in the recreation of it. Like Cerberus is the final thing, because 2 and 3 Cerberus had a lot more to it than 2. In Mass Effect 1, Cerberus was a mercenary group that just got named.
Yeah.
2, Cerberus was a big part of the game.
Well, I mean, they brought Shepard back to life.
Yeah, and
I mean, so they had abilities.
and then
And then they learned all the stuff when we went to the center of the universe.
And then 3, Cerberus was one of the big 2. You had the Reapers, you had Cerberus. If you weren't taking care of one, you'd take care of the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they should have I'm sure it is something entirely different, but Cerberus was left alive so they could just rebuild themselves with surviving Reaper tech.
Yeah.
Or just reactivating the Reaper tech. Because unless you pick the right thing, the Reapers weren't disintegrated, they were just shut off.
Well, I mean, and you always got the possibility that even under the destroy mode, that the human Reaper was now owned by Cerberus and could have been recreated.
Yeah.
Started up again, although not with the blood of humans.
Nah, they probably did some like recreating their own stuff. But yeah, that right there, and make the whole game of kill the elusive man before he like reactivates the Reapers or something. Or turns...
Actually does take control of.
Yeah. Like, whatever, like, there's
Shepard comes out of the, like I say, comes out of the bowels better than ever halfway through the game. Though you've had one party looking for him, but I can't go looking for him right now. I gotta go deal with this. And
no, here's how it'd be. It would be Liara's the main character of 4, and then, it could be like halfway through, Shepard just gets the new party member, like Javik. Not the main character, a side character that has a lot more input than the other characters.
No, I would think if Shepard is introduced, he would become main. How could you not?
I mean, you gotta look at other ones that have the same, that continue on as different ones. But I mean, I feel like if you play, like, say it's a 30-hour game, you spend the first 15 hours as Liara, and she's like, oh my god, Shepard, you're alive! And then Shepard comes in and says, okay, Liara, you've been leading all of them. Tell me what to do.
Maybe.
Me personally, I'd like that a whole lot. Is, oh my god, Shepard, here, take the reins. It's like, Liara, I don't know what's going on. Tell me what's going on and tell me what to do.
Well, but Shepard could show up with a whole different plan because of the Keepers. I mean, he could show up with so much more knowledge.
Freaking summon out all the Keepers and just be like, wave his fingers and thousands of Keepers start attacking. That'd be the stupidest thing ever.
Oh, I mean, no, they'd be climbing on the walls as spiders coming.
No, I know. It'd be like in 3 when you're on the planet with Grunt. You see all the robot Rachni everywhere.
Yeah.
But that'd be stupid because the Keepers aren't intimidating in any way, shape, or form. They're just...
No, because they've been completely controlled.
No, I mean, they don't even look intimidating. It's just, okay, get them. And you just see thousands of them. I mean, if you see thousands of them come flushing out, that'd be terrifying, but...
Well, I mean, there's a reason why the Keepers are the Keepers. It's not like they were necessarily first and decided just to get used, they decided to use them. They had something special about them. They were smart, and super smart.
And if I remember right,
but somehow got controlled.
Because if I remember right, whenever Javik talked about the Citadel, the Protheans, the Citadel had been there a lot longer than the Protheans, I think.
Yeah.
And
the Citadel's been around for millions of years. They were just the last.
And the Keepers were already on there whenever they had went there.
That's what I mean. The Keepers have seen thousands of
species,
50,000 year rounds. They've been around forever.
So I wonder if the Keepers are the ones that would actually allow, like, just randomly tell the Reapers, okay, it's time to go exterminate.
Yeah, because they were programmed.
Were they programmed by the Reapers?
Well, I mean, everything they did was programmed. If you messed with them, they died. Or...
No, I know that. They'd self-destruct if you try and tamper with them, but I don't remember if it said anything about them being, like, controlled by the Reapers or if they were just controlled by the Citadel. Or, tied to the Citadel.
Well, yes, they were tied to the Citadel. But it was an assumption, is that they were a part of the whole thing. I mean, they were programmed like the... what Protheans were that became the
collectors.
The collectors.
I mean, that could be the case. Like,
They were just programmed differently, and they were programmed to keep the Citadel up and running for 1,000,000 years, or however long it was. They may not have been the first keepers of the Citadel, but when they emerged and became smarter, they became keepers of the Citadel, or, 5 cycles in, it's like, crap, we need somebody taking care of this. It's breaking down. It took us 10,000 years too long for us to be notified. We need somebody here hitting a button.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they were a part of the whole situation. They were a part of the Reapers.
And they may have been. I've got this theory now. Just as I've talked, I've got this theory that they were the ones that told the Reapers when it was time to come. They keep an eye on everything. Oh yeah, they're too technologically advanced. Come wipe them out. Or they just
it was on a time scale. It wasn't anything.
Well, they said, but it's 50. Well, yes, it was 50,000 years, but then at the same time, 50,000. Let's say they're in a way. Let's say they're from the Andromeda galaxy, something far away. I don't know how long travel is for them, but let's be like, okay, travel. Are they able to be harvested? Nah, they're not able to be harvested yet. Okay, time to go back. The keepers would keep an eye on it, so say that thing I'm making all this up as I go. They at least can see through the eyes of them if they're in the whole thing. Okay, they're getting too technologically advanced. Let's take them out.
See, I don't think so, because and you have proof of that in the Javik thing, because Javik and his whole thing. They were the only ones.
Yeah.
But they were so much more technically advanced, talking to rooms and walls and air. 50,000 years, they got way more advanced in their 50,000 years than our cycle had. So it wasn't about how technologically advanced they got, because
it was how smart they were.
The Protheans hit that level 10,000 years or 5,000 years prior to what this cycle hit it. But 50,000 years had to pass before it happened.
And it could just be
so it was 50,000 years. How technologically advanced didn't matter, because Reapers were just so much bigger and more powerful.
I forgot about this. There's a whole, I'm sure, and plus it's been a little bit since I've played it, so I'm probably forgetting some things here and there. And it could just be every 50,000 years, and we'll just wipe out the dominant species.
That's the only thing I have to go by, is to say, yeah, it's 50,000 years and not how technologically advanced they got. Because had that been the case, we'd have been 10,000 years away from them attacking the humans. Or, the situation as it was as a whole now.
Or
think about it. When you go to talking about the Batarians and some of those others that seemed, inferior and more warlike,
The Batarians were very smart. You never played the Legendary Edition, so you didn't, but they were still smart enough to be not on par, but they were still smart. The Vorcha were just idiots.
But, I see them both as subpar.
And the Yogg. I don't remember the Yogg or not. Shadow Broker.
Yes.
Like, that species was warlike, because they had, only one of them. At least as far as we know, only one of them had the intellect.
No, only one had been taken from the planet.
We knew of 2. There was 1 and 3 that we saw for a split second.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, come on. You do it in 2. You do the Shadow Broker mission with Ligara, and she's like, Tassoni.
Oh, okay.
And then if you have Garrus, she's walking in, you see it. Hey, Shepard's like, there goes the next Shadow Broker. And Garrus says, if you listen close, you can hear him muttering Tassoni the whole time. And then she's like, not funny!
No, I don't remember that. I don't know if I ever picked up on that.
Yeah,
I remember seeing him walk by, though.
Yeah, he goes, ha! And runs off. That's that whole little thing. And Shepard's like, hey, there goes the next Shadow Broker. He was muttering to Sony the whole time. Yeah, it's only if you bring Garrus. Otherwise, if you play it, then it'll be like, there goes the next Shadow Broker. Not funny. Because Garrus was there during the whole thing of it, so he had a little more input, which was kind of funny.
Yeah, well, it's possible that I didn't have Garrus then.
Well, no, because you are a lot like me, or I'm a lot like you, and once you get Javik, you use Javik a lot to get his input on stuff, because he has different input.
Well, I was always more likely to take biotics. Always.
Plus, at that point, it was either if we didn't have the DLC, it was either James or Garrus. Or Edie. You did have Edie at that point.
I probably took Edie then. I liked Edie.
I was okay with Edie.
Which is unfortunate because she gets destroyed in the destroy ending. Doesn't it? Isn't it everything electronic gets destroyed? She's one of the ones that goes.
A lot of, yeah, pretty much machinery gets shut down, which does suck, honestly.
Yeah, Edie was part of it. That's what made that decision hard because I liked her.
The untrustworthy robot from the first one. And she was AI in the first one, the second one, and so nobody had ever trusted her. I remember reading stuff about it, where that she was just.
Yeah, but I liked her in the third one.
That ain't what I want to pull up. Yeah, Edie wasn't bad. Like, come 3, she got a lot more personality because she started to really interact with the world. So she became a true AI more than she was in 2.
Yeah.
Like, she fell in love with Joker, which sucks for Joker.
Yeah, that was the hard part of the destroy ending is because it was all machinery and you knew you were destroying Edie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The rest of it wasn't that hard.
I like the synthesis ending just because it is a true culmination of both. The combination life and synthetic merge into one thing. Like,
see, I don't like that one, but mostly because I can't imagine it.
Technically speaking, it makes no sense because it says we're one thing, symbiotic with each other, but you and me are flesh and blood. It's not like it's going to add synthetics to us and add flesh and blood to the robots.
Right. But that I have a hard time understanding that one, so I don't like that one.
I like
and even in the clips afterwards, it shows them all being semi.
Like they have the green lines and stuff, like they are.
Yeah.
I like the speeches of it. The speeches from there are the best part. Like, I think you said the control ending was your favorite because of the speech that Shepard says during it all.
Probably.
Where Shepard's pretty much like, this was the strongest thing in the galaxy that killed a lot of us. I now have the ability of control, so I will protect us.
I like that. I liked Liara's... Liara's speech actually in the one where everybody dies.
Oh, and basically we made this. Get prepared. We weren't able to finish
but
it.
She's talking about Shepard, and this is the one that almost succeeded. Here's what you need to know, and that speech was actually really cool.
It's really sad to think. I'm sad they actually added an ending in like that. Because you make it that far in the game.
Yeah, and lost.
You chose to. You literally shoot the stupid kid.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, fine, suffer. And he, I wonder if, like, it comes down to it, if they knew what happened. That Shepard just said, no, we'll do, as opposed to all this effort we put into this building.
No, all they think is that he failed.
That's even, but I don't know.
But that's all they had to think. Is that he failed. We sent this whole group and armada, everybody. And it was, did anybody make it? Did anybody make it? And they were, somehow, 2 did.
Yeah.
But with 2 and both being injured, they just couldn't succeed.
But yeah, end times. Miracle workers.
Yeah.
But I've thought about it before, and I think that's just a sad ending. It's supposed to be.
Oh, it is.
It's supposed
to
be.
But I liked her speech and what it was.
I don't, just because of the, he almost did it. He was almost the one that saved us, but he couldn't. Considering in Mass Effect 1, what did Shepard do? He did what they couldn't. Mass Effect 2, what did he do? He did what they couldn't. Mass Effect 3, what did he do? Well, he couldn't. The whole aspect of the trilogy is he did what they couldn't.
No, I get all of that.
And it makes me sad.
But to add that ending in there and to hear her speech, despite the fact that you technically failed, you chose to fail, but you failed, that whole speech was damn cool.
Ah,
It really was.
I'm
I mean, she was leaving information like the Protheans had left information, and with it, she got to include talking about Shepard.
and she left the blueprints too, so it'll be a lot easier to make.
Well, didn't they find blueprints? That's how they ended
No,
up
like
making it.
they found partial pieces of the blueprints that they eventually pieced together with more knowledge. She left the blueprints and left everything that they needed. Like, you need this piece, you need this piece, and you need this piece. You need the catalyst, and you need the citadel. Essentially what all it was.
Yeah, I mean, they did what they expanded on what the prior cycle had left them. Or cycles, because Protheans said it wasn't all them.
Yeah. And one thought that I've never understood is the end of the game. You know, you have the grandpa talking to the kid.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the shepherd. Oh, people still to this day don't know who that is. Because they can't go into the game. Like, people have seen and tried to go to the game files. Because some games, you can go in as a character hidden, but they just lower the tone of the model so you can't see who it is.
Yeah.
People have gone into it that's on PC to figure out who that character is, and there's no design of the character. They're just black silhouettes. So, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I do.
And like, that's been, I want for all this time.
I mean, every time that one come on, I wanted to hear more.
Yeah, because that's somebody theoretically who was part of it. You know, it's like, tell me more about the shepherd or grandpa, dad. Just tell me more about him.
Yeah.
So somebody with it, or unfortunately, that would mean it's not a real story, or it's a legend, or a legend that gets passed down years after years.
I mean, who knows how far in the future it was?
Because I love that. Like, they make a lot of the future stuff, like Rex. You know, where he's talking to Shepard on the planet. All the Krogan will remember this day. All of them will remember the day that we saved them. From this day on, Shepard will not just be a name in our I lost the word. Basically, Shepard will mean hero.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what he said specifically, but there was a specific word that he said. But for our species, Shepard will mean hero, which I would have loved if that's kind of what I want to see more about it. Like Take 4, we get to see more about Tuchanka and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe get to see more green on Tuchanka.
Probably get to see an awful lot more Krogans.
Yep.
Since they've been cured. A lot more Krogans.
I mean,
but a lot more friendly Krogans.
Yeah, probably not. They'll still be hateful. Like, we survived.
Well, the old ones would be. The new ones would be oblivious. Some would.
I was going to meet and see.
I mean, heck, for that matter, you could go... Well, I don't know. How long does Garrus live? How long does his group live?
I don't know how long left.
I mean, Liara lives 1,000 years, so you could bring Shepard back after 200 to 500 years because he's been in cryostasis because it needed that much time to heal.
150 years for Turians. That's Garrus.
Okay, and he's, what, 50, 40?
I don't...
So, I mean, anyway, several of them could be gone. And Shepard comes back.
No, he's 2 to 4 years younger, so he's either 25 or 27.
Oh, so we got 100 years plus of him. So yeah, put him in cryostasis for 30 years.
I'm just imagining, because those two are best friends with each other. I'm just imagining like a grumpy old Garrus being, I knew this guy once. He was called Shepard. Oh, Grandpa, was he your best friend? No, he was an asshole.
Well, did you ever remember Thane's son?
Kolyat.
Kolyat.
Yeah, like you and I sat.
I mean, he could still be around.
But yeah, but no, it'd either be the best ones would be.
I mean, Ashley be gone, and depending on how far you went, but.
Ashley or Hayden, depends on who.
Yeah.
But I'm now imagining, like, Grunt would be fun, too, to talk about. But Rex and Garrus talking about Shepard? the most respectful, disrespectful way ever. It's like, who is Shepard? He's a hero. Oh yeah, he was also an asshole. Do you remember that time? Oh yeah, I remember that time. Like you got,
oh yeah, the reputation, the story behind the reputation
what,
from the people that saw it.
Mm-hmm. Which game was it where somebody said, anywhere you go, people die, so I'm going to stay out of the way? I want to.
Was that not?
I want to say that was in 2 when you're getting grunts like the Asari.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Okay, Shepard, anywhere you go, people die." I feel like it came from her.
Man, that sounds familiar.
Or it was Rex that said it once.
But I can't. No, it wasn't Rex. It wasn't any of the party that went with him. It was one of the side characters. It was somebody you save. One of the girls that you save. Sorry, otherwise, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was...
But I want to say it was on 2 and it was on Omega. You're going here, okay, I'm not going there. And it could have been 3 after you had killed what's-her-face. Thane's hunt mission. And you go to find Thane.
That's 2.
Yeah, I know. But in 3, you run into a person that was there.
Maybe? Maybe that's it?
I don't know. I'm grasping at straws.
Nasana Dantius, that's her name.
Yeah. And it could have been Nasana. No.
I'm wanting to say it was in 2 whenever you go get grunts. You talk to one of the ones that survived the mission on Sirkesh. And she's like, oh no, I don't want to go with you. You bring death wherever you go. I'm going to go that way. I want to say it was that one. I'll have to play through it again to think about it. I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a long time. It's getting closer to time to play it again.
You got a PS4. You just got to download the Legendary Edition. You get,
plug it in and what I got it on.
You got a lot more content with the Legendary Edition. You get everything that was ever released for Mass Effect on there. Which
all the downloadable.
All downloadable. All characters, all side quests, everything you get. And don't get me wrong, I have 100 hours in all the Mass Effects on Xbox 360.
Yeah.
I'll prefer the Legendary Edition just because it has much more content to play.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to play it, I'm going to start at 1 again, so all the content that I have, anything I have, aside from picking up a replay
and you won't
on 1.
And you can't at this point because you have a different Xbox. I have all the information of Mass Effect on mine. So you don't have...
Yeah, so I get to start from scratch no matter what.
You have no...
So it might as well be the Legendary with all the downloadable.
Yeah, because you have no DLC on your Mass Effects.
Yeah.
Man, Mass Effect is a good franchise. It's going to go down as one of the best, honestly.
Franchise? I don't know about franchise, but 3-game series.
Okay, right now, Andromeda DMB is overtaken by the other 3. And if we count Infiltrator, which is like a short one of a Cerberus one, I'm not sure how that fits in all the continuity. Not many people know about. I want to say it's Mass Effect Infiltrator. I tried to get it on Grandma's iPad. It was like $7.99, and she would never let me get it because, unlike you and Mom, it was an M-rated game, so she wouldn't let me play it. But it was. I'm ready for them to bring more Mass Effect.
I am too, and if they've even considering the possibility of anything,
that
we've just talked about. I mean, I'd be so excited because we've had this conversation so many times
for years now, legitimately years. But here's going to be the issue: developers of BioWare. If one of you did actually take my idea, I will sue.
I don't care. I just want to play the game.
I'll play the game, then I'll sue because you stole our idea from 10 years ago almost.
It's been a long time.
So yeah, we sent you the idea, and if you do it without crediting us, hell, just put it in the end of the thing. By the way, this whole game story was thought up by these 2 random dudes, and they put my email on the thing. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
They're not going to.
No, and you got nothing liable to sue with, but
Email from like 8 years ago.
Yeah, maybe.
And I highly doubt because of Mass Effect
I
Andromeda.
mean, we saw Elon Musk stealing young Sheldon's NASA paper or whatever so he could create his space rocket. It's possible.
I don't watch Big Bang or anything like that, so I'll go based on that. But yeah, let's take Andromeda. Andromeda released like 4 or 5 years ago. And so ain't no way they've had this idea in their head forever.
Oh, young Sheldon come up with an idea for propulsion. And he went to NASA and give it to him and told him all about it and explained it to him. And the guy told him, you're way ahead of your time. And then it flipped over to, I think, the Big Bang Theory. No, it was still in a Young Sheldon episode. But it had Elon Musk, and they were talking about what to do and all the propulsion and stuff like that. And he pulls up, and he's got Sheldon's notebook. And that was his reference 25 years later. It was funny.
Well, I have documented stuff somewhere. If not, I'll go to freaking lawyers. We'll dig through all my emails until we find the one I sent to BioWare.
I mean, I'd absolutely love it if they did it.
Oh, I would too. I 100% would too. I'd just be suing them for the money. Nothing more than that. Keep your game. Keep making Mass Effect. Give us money because you stole our idea. We'd split.
Oh, well, I mean, if you found any proof, they'd settle out of court. Absolutely.
Oh, hell, here, I'd have them just...
They'd just settle out of court, shut you up, and keep making millions. And I'd be just fine with that.
I mean, they give us...
I want to play that game. The game we talked about, I would love to play that game.
Oh, I would too.
That would be such a fun game to play.
100% I would too. And who knows, maybe...
just the anticipation of Shepard would... Even if that was the ending. You know, you play it all the way through to the ending, and all you get to... Shepard is the ending. I mean, whatever the ending is.
It's like in...
but, you know, Shepard gets revealed at the end of 4. And you get to play as Shepard in 5. I'd be so excited.
Like for Kingdom Hearts, how the first game has you find Mickey, and then at the last bit of the game you see Mickey.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would be so exciting. That'd just be one of those moments that everybody is like, that's what I was waiting for. That's what I wanted.
Games and Gamers fans out there who can make games, make us our Mass Effect 5. Mass Effect 4, I give you permission. Because I remember seeing one thing, I think I told you maybe about a year after it came out, it was a fan-made thing of Mass Effect Ragnarok. Where basically it was a species of creature that was from where the Reapers and Leviathan were all originally from. It was bright orange and looked like an Omni-Tool. But there's 2 of them in existence, and they had the ability to kill the Reapers. And so Shepard, it will fall more to the Control ending. Shepard, you'd hear basically Shepard, Reapers on the outskirts of the Milky Way start getting destroyed, and he doesn't know why. And he's like, okay, be careful. There's something out there that I can't stop. And then I have to go like more outside galactic help and stuff like that. That was something that was fan video I saw.
Oh, okay.
Like it would have been cool, man. I think something out there, because realistically, there's other universes out there, other galaxies, Mass Effect Andromeda. So there's stuff out there probably more threatening than the Reapers. Technically speaking.
Well, I mean, anything's possible, but something that big can come wipe out whatever species every 50,000 years.
And then now begs the question, do they go to every galaxy? I don't know.
It was always my assumption that this was theirs. But they could have spent the last 50,000 years once a year going to a new galaxy.
That's just their whole thing, is they just go...
I mean, we got 50,000 galaxies to go travel to. Oh, crap, we're at 60,000. Now we got to do a 60,000-year rotation.
It's just a circle. By the time they get to the end, it's time to restart, and it's just a never-ending cycle.
I mean, they've been fighting every day for the last 25 million years. This galaxy this year, this galaxy that year, this galaxy the next year.
Well, no wonder we were able to beat them. They were exhausted.
Yeah.
God, imagine a full power Reaper that had it, that got its night's sleep. Mass Effect 3 was good, but at the same time, it was like I've talked. It was a letdown.
I'd like to see a full power Leviathan.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because they're as old as the universe, not quite, but they were the first somehow, right? They created the Reapers, so they were the first, or one of the first.
Maybe we can maybe see more Leviathan. No, or all of them that were in the Milky Way got wiped out, except for like the few.
Yeah, there wasn't very many that survived because the Reapers decided they were the bad guys.
So yeah, I wish we had saw more of Leviathan, the Leviathans in Mass Effect.
Yeah, I don't see a good plausible way to make it happen.
Or at least, or whenever they found out about them, like they got talked about more. Like, as Mass Effect 3, we'd never thought about who made the Reapers until the DLC came out. But take Mass Effect 2, they started asking about it. Like, there were these things called Leviathans. Don't know if any of these exist, probably not. And then in 3, they get brought up. Think it's something like that small. It's just a name drop they talk about very briefly. Then in 3, like Protheans. You could beat the game without Javik. It's a Prothean just gets talked about. Protheans are important to the story. Oh, here's DLC, now you can go deal with the Protheans.
They mentioned Protheans in 1, didn't they?
Yeah. No, yeah, the Protheans are like the big thing. Like the first 2 hours of the game, you find a Prothean conduit, a Prothean beacon on
Yeah, that's why you were able to find Javik in the first place when you do his mission.
Yeah.
It's because you'd actually been to that place. Or done that.
Yeah. But I'm just saying
beacon.
they should have done something like that. Now you think about it, at least make mention of something small like that.
But by that standard, and the fact that he was able to access the beacon, gain something from it, he should have, at least at some small level, gained a Prothean ability to...
No, do the touch stuff?
Like, yeah, when Javik walks into a room and says, oh, you had a Krogan in here. And that kind of things. That should be something that would have somehow rubbed off if he'd have touched enough Prothean beacons.
Yeah, you'd think. I mean, he got Prothean biotics.
Yeah, well, just thought.
I mean, that would have been fun.
I mean, it's hindsight.
Shepard...
Hindsight 15 years later.
Like, Shepard had his entertaining moments. I could see playing a card game. Garrus, give me your hand. Shepard, why? Just give me your hand. Okay. They're playing a game of poker, and he's trying to bluff him. Give me your hand. Shepard, why do you want me to give you your hand? Just do it. Puts his card down. Give me your hand. Okay. Okay. I'm going all in. Shepard, you son of a bitch. Then Javik's like in the background. He did it. He learned my ability. Like, I can imagine, or in Garrus, like some of them figuring it out. Touch me. Touch me. No, Shepard, I'm not going to let you read my mind. No. Because Mass Effect, as serious as it was honestly a very funny series.
Oh, yeah.
Goods, bads, ups, downs. Citadel's still the funniest DLC in all of them.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Because that one, I think, was legitimately just all comedy.
But, I mean, well, as far as characters are concerned, and as serious as he was, Rex was also the most entertaining.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Rex was just sarcastic. That's all he was.
But he was entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Like,
he wasn't dishonest. He was just entertaining.
Like in 3, he had one of my favorite lines is he's sitting there talking to Surkesh, not Surkesh. Vermeer was the mission in 1. Surkesh is in Mass Effect 3 where you meet Mordin and get Eve.
Yeah.
But they're sitting there talking, and he's, all serious. He's like, man, I could really eat some Solarian. I'd love Solarian liver, fried up right now. Just overall, Rex, he was just funny. He made everything lighter. And then in Citadel DLC, anyone order a Krogan airdrop. Boom. You don't pick him on the team. Man, I wanted to go. But everybody says something like that. Rex is just the funniest. But, yeah. I'm excited for Mass Effect. We need more games like Mass Effect.
Yeah.
I think so. At least...
How many games has BioWare come out with since 3?
A few. One of them was one of the biggest game flops called Anthem. I don't know if you heard about that.
Anthem. No, actually, I read a thing the other day online, though. It was talking about the biggest game flop in history is about to bring about the biggest... Oh, how did they word it? Rejuvenation of a game. And it's been 7 years in the making.
I don't know about that one.
I read about it this morning, but I don't really know.
Like, there's a lot of games that have been like that. One was Cyberpunk 2077 that took like 10 years in development, released and was done awful. Anthem was one. Here's how bad the game was. I bought the game maybe 8 months ago. This $60 AAA game for 79 cents on the PlayStation Store. It was 99% off. And it's a AAA game. It's a high budget. They put millions into this game. And
I don't. It said no. What the hell was the title? No Fly something.
oh,
Fly Away Home. No, that ain't right.
I thought you were going to say Beyond Good and Evil.
No, it was. Yeah, most of the time when I read that stuff, it disappears.
And you said it's BioWare that's doing it?
No, I didn't. I don't know who it was.
Oh. And I couldn't get a thing since then, but I know they've made a couple. I know they've at least made a couple since Mass Effect 3.
Well, I wanted to mention it since we're on here talking about it, and I wanted a game title of people that have played this game 7 years ago going, man, that was the worst game I ever played. And here's the new one that's supposed to be released. Who knows, in the next year or so. They didn't actually say, or I didn't read that close. It's not something I'd ever played.
And it could have been Anthem.
No, it wasn't. It was a three-word title. That's all I can remember. And the word fly was in it.
Yeah,
That's all I can remember.
I can't help. I don't read a whole lot of the gaming stuff like that. I don't go looking for gaming periodicals.
No, I don't either, but it's been popping up lately. I mean, the top 10 Nintendo games, top 10 Activision games actually showed up today.
You read them. I don't, so you keep getting suggested them.
Well, I look at the titles, but I click read.
Like, a lot of the ones I do anymore, I get some of those updates, but they're like Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy-based stuff. And Mass Effect. Like, outside of my internet's figured out, okay, these are the only 3 things this man is ever interested in.
Yeah.
You want something similar? No, I want these. Okay. But I can't think of...
yeah, I mean, it talks about underrated video games and best Nintendo systems of all time according to the game and because of the games. And it went PS5, PS1, 4, 3, 2.
I wouldn't...
Just because PS5 is so far advanced that how can it not be on top? But then it went to 1 because this is...
The Origin.
Oh, best action games on Nintendo 3DS. There you go.
I mean, I got a 3DS. While we're on the topic of stiffs, I think we're going to be ending.
10 classic handheld gaming devices that changed the world.
We're going to be ending soon. But I started playing a game called Gears of War. I think I've told you about it from time to time.
Yeah,
I had you at a garage sale. I had you pick me up Gears of War 4 like a month ago. I finally got to really playing it. And that game is annoying the hell out of me. It's a 2007 game release. AI is very bad. Because it's a shooter game for one. But the shooter game has it basically AI targets you and you alone. So I've noticed this. I was playing it. Main character's a guy named Phoenix. Marcus Phoenix.
Okay.
So he's sitting there holding under the thing, not getting shot at by anybody. The enemies are shooting, the grubs, that's what they're called, are shooting at your people. As soon as you pop up, there could be 10 enemies on the field shooting at these people. They all turn their attention to your character. And like I was doing, it was a turret, a troika. And I'm sitting there shooting. He's shooting over here. He's getting shot at by these other people. And it's just me going up and down. I got testing it, and he's literally just turning left, right as I'm coming up into view. Which bothers the heck out of me. And two, the player AI, or the characters, are stupid. I was in a little spot. You have to shoot these explosive tanks, otherwise these seeker-like things called krill would kill you, because they kill you instantly in the dark. But I was stuck there. I died 7 times in this one part, because 4 of those times my teammate would run into the darkness, die, I'd barely revive him, and he'd immediately go do the exact same thing and die yet again. And it's again, then it has a spot of infinite spawning enemies, so I have 4 of them constantly pinning me down, trying to revive him, and more or less I can't. I died too many times at that spot to the point that I literally didn't care. I did everything I was supposed to do, walked up to where I needed to do, bang, bang, headshots. I'm on a sniper rifle. I'm doing headshots without even zooming in. That's how annoyed I was. People out there, I'm good at video games. Whenever I get really annoyed and focused, I'm good at games. But I do bang, bang. I walk over, no scope under a trash can to shoot one of these propane tanks. Bang. Walk to zone, throw a grenade as it's called an emergence hole. Just a big old mole hole, pretty much. Climbs out, and as soon as it spawns, the grenade booms. And just, they don't spawn in. That's how annoyed I got, that many times I died, is I figured out exactly where to throw it. Oh my gosh, it got so annoying. We did a lot more Mass Effect than I thought we were going to do. I figured we'd touch upon Mass Effect for a brief moment.
Yeah, but if we get to talking about we get on that subject.
Yeah, Mass Effect, for those who don't know, Mass Effect is one of his favorite series. Probably number 2, honestly. Or I guess series-wise. It's probably his favorite series.
3-game series, yeah. I like it better than 13.
Well, that's a franchise.
No, but that was a 3-game.
I know, but I'm just saying.
That was a 3-game series.
But that's also part of the whole franchise. Like, Mass Effect is just Mass Effect.
Yeah.
And so that's that's probably your favorite series. It's a Mass Effect series.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you have Final Fantasy as your favorite franchise.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
It's specifics. It's semantics in it.
Well, I mean, I'm old. I'm still a fan of Mario. So, I still play the original 3.
Well, that's the original 3, though. That's from decades ago, before I was even born.
Okay, but it's still the original 3.
And you and I never hear you talk Mario.
Okay, but it's still hard to argue that I've still enjoyed the original 3.
And then Sonic.
I mean, 1 takes 5 minutes. 2 is just fun. 3's a challenge. You got to be dedicated. You got to put a little time into it, but it's fun. It's just fun. But 2's just more fun. 2's more fun than 3. 3's more challenging.
Oh, I still think Mass Effect's probably your favorite series, if I had to take a guess.
Well, it's a lot more action-packed. So, yeah, it's more fun.
We've put more time into that one than I think other games.
It'd probably be debatable whether I put more. I mean, even thinking about it, as much as I put into Mass Effect.
As a whole, I'm thinking like 1, 2, and 3. I don't think you've put, because you and I have played those games for like 13 to 20 hours each. There's 3 ones of those, so our accumulated time. I'm at over like 300 hours on the Xbox 360.
When Mario came out, we played it 3-4 hours a day. Every day. For 6 months. I mean, I'd come home from school, do my chores, head over to the friend's house. And we'd start playing it unless his mother, or aunt, I guess, was already playing the game. Had she made it home early, she was playing the game. And we would just take turns. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. At 8 o'clock, it was time to go home. Eat dinner and go to bed. And we did that religiously for months. I mean, I've beaten 2 so many times. Granted, it's an hour.
No.
But I bet I've beat it 100 times. That's 100 hours.
You've met my time for Mass Effect 1.
Yeah. But 3 takes many hours. And I don't even know. I mean, you could look at quick run-throughs, I guess.
Yeah, those
just to get a time frame.
Yeah, those games can be beat pretty quick if you know what you're doing.
If you know what you're doing.
I said if. I did say if you know what you're doing. Man, Mario's never been a franchise I've been super into. I play them. I've played Mario. It's just never been one of those ones like a... Danger's a big Mario fan. Like, that's probably his series. It's, you know, he knows the most about Mario. I know the most about Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts. You know...
Well, there's an awful lot of Mario I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Mario.
But I mean, I was around when Mario came out, and 2 came out,
yeah.
and 3 came out, you know, and those were nostalgic games that are probably going to stick with me until the day I die. I mean, hell, I bought one of them stupid little Nintendo Minis the other day.
Classics.
Whatever. Not necessarily because the games are on it, it's just because I'm a Nintendo fan. And it's like, hey, I need to own one of those.
A Nintendo fan, and yet my whole life we've always strayed more towards PlayStation.
Well, I'm also a PlayStation fan.
Be careful saying that nowadays. You have some people that you can't be one. You can't be both. You can only be a diehard one.
Well.
Oh, like I've talked. It's a lot of debate still goes on about it.
I mean, if PlayStation's when gaming started, then what do you miss? 8 years? 7 years?
On PlayStation?
Video games.
Maybe.
What is it even that much? When did PlayStation? They came out in
90s.
No, the first PlayStation happened in 86. Maybe you only missed 3 or 4 years.
Let me look, because I want to say it was 90s.
I watched that.
95. 94 was when the PlayStation came out.
94 is when the PlayStation came out.
Yeah, in Japan.
Okay, Nintendo hit the markets in 84. Right? There was the crash of 83 and the Atari.
85.
83.
No, 83.
83 was the crash of Atari.
Yeah, 83 was.
So 2 years later. So 85. So 9 years. 9 years of video games that you're just ignoring if you say PlayStation's first. That's why I'm a Nintendo fan. I didn't say I was a Super Nintendo fan.
No, not saying that. It's a diehard. You cannot like all consoles. You have some people that literally, you like PlayStation. Oh, I also play Xbox. No, you cannot play Xbox because you like PlayStation.
Oh, wow.
Then you have, but Nintendo, or like Mario, Final Fantasy. Some are literally like, I like Final Fantasies. Okay, you can't talk about any other game, but I like Mass Effect. I like Dragon's Dogma, Skyrim. No, you only like Final Fantasy, and some of them literally, I've seen arguments go on where these people who play more games than I have will go into these big discussions about people because someone said you all like they know one specific thing. They talk about Mario for 5 minutes, and apparently they're Mario fanatic, and so if they say anything outside of it, it's like, oh, you only know about Mario. Sometimes the gaming world sucks.
Well, no, that's just stupid. That ain't sucks. That's just stupid.
No, I mean it sucks stupid either way.
Pain in the butt, okay, but stupid.
Well, and also
is what I see.
I say sucks because the gaming world also puts a lot of stuff on other ones because a group of gamers can get a game shut down and never have others by review bombing it.
Well, and this is what I've been telling you about gamers. You can't focus all your intention on one game and truly be a gamer. You can play a video game and you can be what's the one? The fighting game.
Mortal Kombat?
No. The recent.
Call of Duty?
Call of Duty. You could be a Call of Duty gamer and we put Mario in front of you and you'll look like an idiot, that doesn't make you a gamer. Okay, you can play Call of Duty better than I can because I'm never going to play it.
I hate your dog.
But
I'm putting that in the games and gamers. I hate your dog.
But gamer, to me, is simple. You've played a lot of games.
I'm a gamer now.
You can pick up a controller, they can put a game in front of you, and you can play it with success. Because
you played a lot.
Because you've played enough to know that, it's this kind of game, I got to do this kind of stuff. It's this kind of game, I got to do this kind of stuff.
It's the experience around that allows your brain to kind of switch between.
Yeah. And if you've only played a shooter, you're not a gamer.
You'll struggle at other ones.
Not in my opinion, anyways. I mean, they might do great in a stealth, because they've hidden from enemies till they could find the right angle. So I guess stealth is something.
And also, I was thinking about it midway through this. Next time I have you on, I want you to have played a horror game, because Halloween's around the corner.
How Resident Evil do you want me to go?
Not Resident Evil.
It's horror.
No. Compared to what I'm talking about, no.
Oh, I'm sure. But I've played horror games.
You play scary games. There's a difference between scary games and horror games. Like a scary movie and a horror movie. A scary movie has moments that scare you, but you don't have the sense of dread all the time. A horror game, you walk in, you see something happen, you're like a constant, oh shit, that could happen at any moment. That's the way I classify.
Okay.
We watch movies that have jump scares in them versus those that are constantly, it's the atmosphere. You hear sounds here and there. I want you to play one horror game before you come back on Games of Gamers.
Well, I don't know. Wandered around in that sewer with a, what was that? 6-headed thing in
Last of Us?
Last of Us 2 was a little horrific.
Scary.
That was horrific, trying to run around from that thing, trying to get it
King?
shot.
The Rat King, yeah.
Yeah. Trying to shoot that thing and get it killed. That was scary. Where can I go? Where can I go? Oh, crap, I made a wrong turn. I'm dead.
Yeah, I do want you... It's called Outlast. I think it's probably the best one. It's a stealth-based game. But I think at this point... No, that's my final thing, is I want you to play a horror game before you come on Games of Gamers again.
You keep getting me started on games. I've got 3 started. This is not me.
Hey.
I start a game, I end a game.
You bought Mass Effect of your own volition. That was you. 15, yes.
I bought that to replace the one of yours that don't work.
I don't know why. No one does.
No, but I bought one that does.
Yeah. And you started it. And then you left it.
Because that was the one you were trying to get me to start. That's why I tried to download it. It's how I figured out it didn't work on my system.
You wanted to play it because I said we had access to it. And you said, I want to play the next Mass Effect.
No, I'll try it. I didn't say I wanted to.
You wanted to. I gave you
I've
the...
never wanted to.
I
said, okay, I will try.
I gave you the option of games. What do you want to play after The Last of Us? And part 2. And I said you get Final Fantasy 15, Thief, Andromeda, and out of all the ones I listed, I'll play Andromeda. I want to play Andromeda. You chose to do Andromeda, so don't put all that on me. You bought that one. Walking Dead, I'll take. Final Fantasy 15, you could have beat by now.
Had I enjoyed it.
I know. You could have beat it. So, still, I'll take 2 of the 3. But, Walking...
Well, of those, I was more familiar with Mass Effect than I was... I mean, everybody knows 15, Final Fantasy, different number, different storyline. So I didn't know what I was going into. It's just another Final Fantasy
Unless
movie.
you're Danger's he could be joking, but I think he has a hard time comprehending. Danger, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he has a hard time comprehending that they're different games.
By the numbers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were talking earlier, and I made mention...
We'll go watch the movie Spirits Within. That'll prove it to you. It's Final Fantasy Spirit Within. It doesn't have nothing to do with the video games. A whole different story. It's a whole different everything.
Yeah.
That's...
Like, we had a small discussion because I had said... He had played... I can't remember what game it is he was talking about, but he's played like 3 of them. Halo, the one that has 19 books and like 8 games to it. Okay. And I said, that's too much. That's too much information for one story. And he's like, but Final Fantasy has 16 games. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it does. There's 16 games. Each one's different. You don't have to, unless it's number.
Yeah, every number's independent from the other.
Unless it has a continuation.
Well, I mean, 13, 1, 2, 3.
10, 2. Final Fantasy 7. We have 2 Final Fantasy 7 games. 3 if we count remake.
Yeah.
Crisis Core, Dirge of Cerberus.
And a movie.
I own that movie in 3 separate ways now. I have it on Google, I have it on DVD, and I have it on my PlayStation Portable.
I saw something the other day that told me the Transformers movie that I own was one of the top 10 animated movies of all time. Despite how bad the show was always considered to be.
I've been seeing a lot of the old of Gen 1 Transformers all over my TikTok. There's one of them I was debating getting it. It's about $400, at least I saw. It is a voice-activated either Grimlock or Optimus Prime.
No, I don't want that.
Or you can literally say, hey, Optimus, come with me. Or come over here, and Optimus will drive over. Or you tell Optimus, transform. And him and his truck will transform on his own. Same for Grimlock.
Now, if I could say Optimus, turn on the Xbox. Okay, maybe.
I mean, technically, if you have him sitting right there, hey, Optimus, attack! Alright, but that's all the time for this Games and Gamers. This one was done very quick, very haphazardly. Not haphazardly. What's the word?
Pretty much haphazardly.
No, we got on topic, but it was more or less last minute. What's the word I'm thinking of?
Random.
Not random. Because, you know, I asked you about this like 3 weeks ago, and we just never sat down and did it. There's a word. Someone out there, give me the word. It's basically just out of the... Not random out. It's just very rushed, but not, you know... I don't know. I don't know the word.
Definitely wasn't planned.
It wasn't planned, no. It's the opposite of planned. Because I literally asked him about an hour ago, hey, you want to help me? Yeah, sure. Why not? But... Thanks, Dad, for being on.
Oh, sure.
Fun to talk Mass Effect for the first time in years, it feels like.
Yeah, I know, and I got excited. I actually did. I got a little excited about it, you know.
Now?
Hey, you know, you keep talking about Mass Effect 4 or 5, whatever, and the possibility that there's still a chance that that thing we talked about right after playing 3 is still out there. I got excited.
I know. Welcome to the world of gaming, where you know what's coming up. There's games I follow. This is one of them. I'm keeping an eye on. Not much has been said. Because you know what's coming, you get excited for it.
Yeah.
It's like movies. Except much more fun.
Well, at least in this case.
I don't watch a lot of movies because I have a lot more fun with video games.
You hadn't went to see Barbie?
No. Even though it's apparently a $1 billion movie.
It is.
And
biggest Warner Brothers movie of all time.
And you want to know? I knew it was going to reach $1 billion. You want to know why?
I couldn't have a clue.
4 months ago, I saw a post on Facebook talking that you would get to see Margot Robbie's bare feet. It was a whole article that had like 18,000 shares, like 30,000 comments, and an ungodly amount of likes and loves. I knew this movie was going to succeed, not for the fact it's a Barbie movie, but the fact that there was an article written about it.
About Margot Robbie's feet.
Yes. I'm not kidding. She's I don't know why I didn't read it, but it was more or less like she has never shown her feet on camera or something like that. You have those weirdos. That's their whole thing. Is they, take pictures of them.
Well, I mean, Taylor Swift never showed her belly button forever until somebody caught it from a mile away.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. I knew it was going to succeed, not because it's good, but because of that right there. And I hate that I was right.
Well, I hadn't seen it, but it's Barbie. I just don't know how good it could be.
I've heard it's actually not bad, honestly. I've heard, like, realistically, it's not a bad movie. That Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer?
Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Mass Effect. Great series. Alright, stay tuned for, hopefully, I want to say hopefully, by next week, because we're recording this the 14th, it'll go up the 15th. I want to say by, like, the 21st, we're going to have Kakarot taken care of. That's a Dragon Ball Z game.
Okay.
We're going to have that game recorded and done. So, Danger, I know you're listening. Hurry. I'm going to have this game beat by tomorrow, honestly.
Yeah, it must be rough working 3 days a week.
I know. Working 3 days a week, getting to play games. It's awful. I'm actually debating starting a PS3 version of The Last of Us. I don't need to. I can tell you how the game goes inside and out, but that'll be another discussion. I gotta come up with a way to say goodbye on these things without just, because we've never said it the same way.
Till next time.
I wanted to make it more gaming-like. Not till next time. It's like, thanks for logging in, it's time to log off, or time to put your consoles into rest mode, or something stupid like that.
I don't know, find a Mario dying sound.
I can't. I'll get copywritten quick. But I guess we can just do it. We'll say bye.
Well, make your own dying sound.
I probably will. But until, I guess we'll take my dad's because we say bye at different way each time. Until next time, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Hurry up, Danger. Bye, everybody.